to the table here because they do have a new lineup coming in from their side with Clicks being the latest addition.
Yeah, we'll see how it ends up rolling on down. Early P1 time was getting contested by Houston Spartans. Not long enough for a tick, but there's the first one through. A lot of bloods will come as well, and that's going to be all for them. All dead on the ground, all waiting to come off of that respawn. Two are picked up by Cliz, but it's a lot of early time for the Houston Spartans getting picked up. Right on through goes Slade, 2 players on the hill. And now if you're Houston Spartans, something we talked about, starting to work on that map control, with about 20 seconds left on that P1, you're already starting to see this play here out of Resurrect trying to work that back P2 side.
They're instantly already setting up for the next point because 10 seconds left on the clock with the resets now coming through. They need to make sure that they have those rotations cleared out for themselves. Last couple of ticks already been given away. The members of Slain, they're not playing the risky game here, as Houston Spartans already have the wraparound for themselves. Good positioning coming in from JC. Gets the catch here. They do get the point for themselves, and an early couple of ticks here will be massive for the members of Slain to go in for the catch-up.
It was a nice play of the Houston Spartans just to work that backside, keep applying the pressure, and now you have a 2v1 for yourselves on the hill. JC playing his life so effectively. 3 looking for 4, can't quite pick it up.
Oh no!
Shots all the way down range. He's gonna fall. Contest on the hill comes through. Resurrect will pop up by 1, and that's gonna be a 10-point lead for the moment out of the Houston Spartans, who have done just a fantastic job holding that back line. JC did his darndest to try to make something happen, but wasn't able to stay alive long enough. And now Slain on the back foot in good position here at the chicken spot, trying to make P3 and Money Hill of their own. But it's been good early work out of Houston.
Yeah, JC just really needed a multi-frag out there. If he just dropped one more player, possibly his entire team would have been able to flood onto that point, but opportunity missed out. Another capture point already being taken over by the members of Houston. I do believe Houston, they had the better rotations for that fight. This has just gone from back towards JC. They do find the opening picks, though. 2 players already down, and they're just running things over, but never mind. The members of Houston, they're able to answer back in time. They still have the point under contestation. JC is going to be able to shut down one more, but the cavalry already here. The members of Houston, they're still on the hard point, down over to 70. They're able to tick it down so well. Houston, they lose the point, but they can instantly come on back onto this if they just have a couple of more opening pickups. But never mind, Zombie, he's holding things down.
Nice shots out of Zombie too, and this is just unrelenting pressure out of Houston Spartans. They just keep coming at him. Slain is able to get a good chunk of time off of the back half of that P3 and a good few seconds off of that initial time when it broke. But I mean, Houston Spartans' breaking ability has been absolutely phenomenal. Now looking to make a big hold on this P4, had the early rotations, cut their losses early off that P3, about 25 seconds left. They had a couple players dead, said, well, no more resources there, gentlemen. Let's set up camp. Let's make something happen down at the Radio Shack.
This P4 is just so difficult to break into. Even if you get all the frags open for your team, you're still going to have some problems trying to force it in until you clear out that last player. But now it's time again to try and reclaim this spot. The members of Houston Spartans already have a pretty good opening from multiple different angles from the outside. Good beam down. Not Miso is going to be able to shut down one. Zombie still on towards the point. They need to clear it out quickly, though. 80 seconds left on the clock. They need to get themselves in there as quickly as they possibly can. The ticks now going in their favor. The members of Houston, they do have 10 seconds on it. So for Slain, I don't think you try to claim this point anymore. Instantly save your rotation spots and try to catch the members of Houston Spartans trying to run away from this one. But never mind. Houston's, they played it smart. They left the point almost immediately, and they gave away the couple of ticks that Slain could have had on that particular point.
It's exactly the game plan that I rolled on P3 to get them that early time on the P4. Slain did break a little bit, but Houston Spartans just that much further ahead. Getting a couple of waves in the kill feed is exactly what Slain's trying to do and establish some zombie dominance, I suppose you could say. Slain trying to work back into this thing. Our first off the hill for just a moment. That's going to be Volg finding one, not able to get away with his life. Resurrected, not Mizo, are going to pick up a couple, and it's going to be Houston's hill yet again.
Doing so well overall, though, but Slain is just on a different tear for these particular positions. P1 seems to be their position. it's very difficult to try and break into them here. These are one of those points where you just are not able to set up quickly enough to go in for a reclaim. So if you lose out on this point early enough, the team that's holding on will, of course, be in the better spot. But good shots coming in from La Costa, being able to shut everything down here. Rotations stabilize and in control for the members of Houston Spartans as they're just keeping control. You can tell that they're in their elements when it comes down to P2, and they're just going to keep on surviving on it.
They're really calm and they're a really poised team at the moment. And it seems like we may be going to a bit of a listen and see how this rebound may be coming in, only down about 30 points or so. Let's hop in with the boys of Slane.
Oh. I don't think we're hopping in. Or are we?
He's in the back. He's top green. Center. Jump back down.
Oh, never mind. And seasons though the members of Slane are in full-on focus mode, ladies and gentlemen. None of them were talking in that instance, but it's very much understandable because this is a little bit of a problematic situation that they have themselves in. The members of Houston Spartans, they're just in full and utter control, but having no talk seems to be working in their favor. The members of Slane not really needing to communicate, but for them, taking over control here is going to be so crucial at the end of the day. Houston Spartans now trying to go in for the opener here a little bit too early from the side of the Costa. Whoa, is going to be able to find out multiple. Resurrect with a swing out. He's going to be able to shut down another, but they're still doing so much to make this one work.
I mean, they're trying their best. They don't want Houston to get, a lead that they feel like they can't get back quickly. And they've kept themselves in striking distance for the moment. It has Slane. And yeah, not a whole lot of comms ringing through. It doesn't seem like Slane really has the plan clicking for them at the moment. It seems like it's a lot of reactionary comms, just kind of calling out where players are. You don't hear a lot of, I'm hitting this route, I'm making this play. And it's just a lot of reactionary and hoping we can chain kills together right now for Slane. And there's Zombie Slayer with a big 3-piece, and that's going to be a break and a chance for Slane to find something here. And maybe that'll ignite something within the boys. Maybe that would liven up the comms, but you got to keep this thing close and take a lead here if you can.
These are very good extremity controls coming through from the members of Houston, being able to kill out every single player in such a beautiful fashion. Good head glitch position coming through as well from the members of Slane, but they need to be a little bit quicker. JC getting beamed down from a very long distance. Resurrect, give it up for him to utilize his gunplay to its fullest. This is what we want to see coming in from the members of Houston's here. And now you can already tell they're playing for the rotations. They don't want the last couple of ticks here. They want to make sure that Slane, they do not get close enough to this next hard point, and this is going to be crucial, making sure this hole doesn't go down and them being able to hold onto this for as long as they possibly can, stop Slane from getting any more points from here on out forward, because this is their hard point and they can't give this one away.
No, absolutely not. They need to get a break here early, making their way to the front doors. Then if they can bang on through, you're going to have JC in a good position to try to cut down that rotation from the outside. Is they able to win that gunfight? He does. Now it's just going to be Lacoste. The last one left towards the hill. He's going to fall. And now here comes the reattempt for Houston Spartans trying to make a break. They do not want to give up this lead. Slane looking to take the lead for the first time in a very, very long time. Since the beginning of this game, looking to sweep the map number 1 under the rug. Houston Spartans maybe just setting up long-term now for this P5. And smart play here. Slane will end up taking that lead. Can they hit the re-break as Houston gets the early time?
Yeah, this was so crucial. I was a little bit scared there because Houston, they gave away at least probably 10 points, I do believe, by not really going for it at the last 10 seconds when the members of Slane did go down. But it seems as though it was a much more smarter plan. This is the position where you want to be in. The members of Houston taking it all away. If this is allowed, this could be bad. Slane, they need to retake this. They can play for the long game out here. the last couple of ticks that could be coming in through. They need to force this as quickly as they possibly can. Slane, they do get the point for themselves, but instantaneous refrags do come through. Slane able to retaliate, reclaim the positions for themselves, and now Houston, they need to make the choice. Either they can try to go in for the reclaim here, or they could be setting up for the next one.
Yeah, not too much time. I think with the spawns being in the position they were, you might as well just push for the last couple of seconds you can. You get a little bit of a 2-2 split out of Houston, couple of players towards mid, and you get the help up towards P5 as there was a couple of gunfights. You're just trying to get those trades so you don't lose a whole bunch of map position. But either way, Slane is control of the P1 for the moment. A little bit of a fan out to try to gain some more map control. A couple of kills will go their way as well. JC finding one. Houston on the attempt to make the break. Lacoste finding one. Volg on the outside, picking up another. Cliz finds a second. We'll get the trade on to Lacoste, who had two. Cliz just holding on 24 seconds away from trying to steal this map number one. This is going down to the wire.
This might be one of those things that the Houston Spartans were not expecting. This should have been their map, but instead the members of Slane, they're biting back hard. Every single position that they're playing for, they need to go in quickly. This has just gone from backwards. Zombie Slayer already around the corner. He found that too, but Lacoste, he's not giving anything away. The man drops two. And here is where the members of Houston Spartans hold. But the thing is, they need to set themselves up for the rotation because Slane, they're in the better spots. They already have the point for themselves. JT with the triple. He gets it in. And the opening is there, 5 points away, and there's no way you're going to be able to take this one over unless a miracle does happen. Lacoste's going to be able to find out one, and never mind, the members of Houston Spartans, they're somehow still alive, but the last point gets ticked away, and it is going to be the members of Slane to take map number one. S&D, but it's also one of the little bit more of the popular maps for S&D, so, I mean, this is going to be a coin flip and a half because I can't really predict which side this is going to go to, but knowing Houston, they're a very good team that plays for the control-heavy playstyle, so S&D should be their playground.
Bomb will go down early towards the A site. A lot of aggression out of Houston Spartans. Passiveness is in tow for Slane, but you got to start making some pressure forward. Shots will ring out. Nobody falling just yet. Hopping on with Resurrect, trying to watch that rotation through Spiral. Nobody hitting that route just yet, but not a bad place to watch, especially with all your teammates up. Volg will find the first blood and looking for more, finds the second, does get traded out, keeps the main advantage, but that's going to go to the wayside as well. And now we're down to a 2v2. Resurrect up in the 1v2. Cliz just going to go ahead and try to stick that defuse. JC hunts, JC kills. And that's going to be the round. Slane will take it.
That really came down to the very last second too, Shake. That could have been pretty bad for the members of Slane. I was like, there is no way they win this, right? Because of the way that the members of Houston Spartans were set up at the very end. But it's just the story of JC, right? JC's just able to find those opening pickups that his team needs in a lot of these rounds, being able to be that anchor for the team. And then there is Cliz. You have to give it up for the new kid here. He's just sliding in, and he does not care. He will be that opener. He's going to be the player that allows the much more of a veteran presence like Volk to just really come through and shine the brightest. They are a team that is communicating on a different level. They have that synergy, that unspoken synergy between one another that just keeps on working.
It seemed to really shine through at the end of the map number one, looking good. Map number two early on. Hacienda looking strong. P bomb site is pretty much fully open, but down a player, you don't want to get too aggressive. I understand that. Now you're going to have a lot more action over here, and you're going to get the gunshots from Resurrect as well. So that's going to stall your plans for the moment. JC going to step right on up to the challenge, try to take him down. The presence through mid's going to come through, and that's going to switch up these players from Slane. You can't all look in one direction. You got to make sure that you're fanned out and ready for these pushes now that you did take the time.
Oh no, the timing.
You talk about that play at a Resurrect.
Oh, that could have been bad. The player was already trying to make a rotation in towards the back here, but Volk trying to hold on strong. The shots are just so good coming out from this one mechanical player from the side of the team. And Slane, now that they have full control here, 2v3 now across the map. Plan, yes, it's going down, coming in from JC, and they're going to be able to do so much with this one.
to at least get the bomb down. Volk, he's going to go down as well. So that's a
Never
1v2.
mind.
Zombie Slayer picks up one. Massacre right from behind will give the back shots and send them to bed. And that's going to be a 1-1 in this one. Here's a little bit of a replay here for you. It's not rewind, but we'll give you one here anyway. The trade's going back and forth. Massacre was just looming in that P1 fountain area. Gets the good timing onto Zombie Slayer. Plenty of time for the defuse and then leaving it up at one apiece.
Yeah, Slane just didn't really have a game plan going into this. They were kind of hovering in the courtyard trying to fish out a kill or two, and you would have expected Slane to be the winners of this one. They had the man advantage going into this round, but instead it's just flipped over in like the very last second. You don't ever want to be in a position like this. Because for now, the members of Houston, they're in a little bit of a bind, but never mind. Sliding across is going to be Lacosta, not Weasel, being able to find those two frags here. Already down over to a 3v2. The members of Slane, they need to try and figure this one out. Possibly find at least one frag to equalize things out before they try to go in for this retake.
JC was able to find one, at least get something going, and finds a second in the round as well. So now you have it to a 2v2. Bomb is down for Houston. Klitz working through mid with his teammate, trying to find something. Don't know how much equipment they have. Massacre at least had the nade for the moment.
What?
Shell's gonna find one. And now it's a 1v2 situation. And you are not feeling great if you're Misa.
JC.
And you are gonna go to sleep. Make it the ace for JC. My God, no better time than chance for this young fella to turn up.
JC is just like that X factor on the team, right? Whenever JC is having a good game, you know that Slane is just going to be that unstoppable force. He just disrespected the player hiding in that corner. He slid across. Doesn't matter if they had that perfect crossfire setup. JC was like, I'm going to go in and I'm going to make sure that we have the space to do it. And Houston Spartans didn't even expect it, right? You could see that the players who were setting up the crossfire, they were trying to get into a better spot. He was not ready for JC to go in for a mad dash like that. These kind of players, these young guns are just so unpredictable. And you can tell with this being their home turf that Houston Spartans, they have a good chance of taking this map. But as long as Slane are able to pull off unpredictable plays like this, nothing can be set in stone.
Yeah, seeing that name JC on the right side of the kill feed is a good thing for the Houston Spartans right now, who have a man advantage. Bomb will go down for Slane, so they have that advantage to themselves. They flip the pressure down a player. If they can find a pick, it's back to 2v2, but still a lot of work to walk away with this round. Still 30 seconds for Houston to work with that man advantage. Resurrect all the shots through, but nobody falling just yet. Lacoste will pick up Zombie Slayer. Vol gets one, is traded out immediately. Resurrect not so friendly, body shots galore, empty the clip. He feels away, and Houston Spartans, they'll draw even again.
Yikes, this is what you want to see here. A little bit of bad talking here from the either side as the members of Houston Spartans, they are not yet ready to give up. Positions were perfect and better, and being able to take down the raid boss known as JC, who had a 3 KD, mind you, a 6 KD before he did die here. He was just a problem and a half to deal with, but now turn things back, go it around, and move it back into your own home turf here. As for the members of Houston Spartans, where do they want to go here for this hit? It's either B or A, as the setup from the side of Slane are going to be a little bit more heavier on the opposite side here. They do get the bomb down a little bit early as the members of Houston Spartans, they try to put all their eggs in one basket, trying to force that fight onto B.
They're able to get done here. Houston Spartans do pick up the first blood and now have the bomb down as well. 4v3 advantage, looking for big plays here out of Slane. What they're able to come up with. Volk been so influential, is able to find one. Definitely spotted that player in the corner as well. He's going to back on up, and that's going to be free information for Zombie Slayer, who's going to find that trade, and Volk going to pick up another one. Lacoste will find one onto JC, but that defuse comes through. Zombie Slayer picks up his second of the round. Volk finding two as well, and Slane will get another one.
Yeah, Slane's just in a pretty good control over this particular round. Again, it's just that the level of disrespect being showcased by the members of Slane is just insane, right? Volk being able to slide in, find one player, and dip out. That should not be the case. The members of Houston Spartan, they're just not ready to expect this much aggression coming in from the members of Slane, but it should be expected. You need to buddy up with your partner and just play for those trades. You cannot allow them to go out for free in situations like this. And as long as you don't get those trade setups going for yourself, you're going to be in a pretty tough spot. You can already see that the members of Slane, they're going to be fully focusing up on this B side, and the members of Houston Spartan, they're not really looking for it whatsoever. Possibly one opener kill could be coming in as Houston, they have an idea that the B side could be ripe for the picking, but then they're taking things slow.
Resurrect, I think he did get some information that players for Slane were on the cross, so that will come through. JC's gonna fall on the bomb plant as Resurrect is able to pick up that first blood. Now back to the drawing board goes Slane, rotation towards the B site, but could be playing into the trap of Houston Spartans. They are fully aware that rotation is coming through. Zombie Slayer luckily is able to find that opening kill. Get the lives back to 3 apiece. Now onto a 3 spree he goes. Bob looking to go down on B.
That was a missed opportunity and a half coming through from the player in the back. They're not going to be able to find out much as the bomb needs to make an instant rotation towards the opposite side here. 21 seconds left. Players, they're not really ready for it. Plan's possibly going to go down, but one player close by. Zombie Slayer, good for the shot here. 12 seconds left. He's going to be able to play going for the plant, and never mind the members of Slane. They're going in for a huge turnaround. There's a good possibility and an opportunity here to try and make this work. Sound comes through, and it's going to be Zombie Slayer just breaking the kneecaps of the last one. As Slane, they are making sure to keep this competitive. Instant rotations. They went to B, they went to A, they bamboozled themselves as well. They went back to B after going in for rotation. They turned back and then went back towards A, and Zombie Slayer just swung out, got the kill, and he made sure he got the plant down as well. The members of Houston Spartans, they went through, I don't know, they went through every stage of emotion that you could have had. Denial, acceptance, and then later confusion. You just can't predict what the members of Slane are going to try to do. Just so unpredictable in the nature of their play.
Yeah, they're flowing right now. They're the first team to put back-to-back rounds together so far in this search and destroy. There's been a lot of trades early on. That's going to be not Miso picking up that kill. Excuse me, Massacre, I believe, actually might have gotten that kill. Like, the kill feed is a little broken. Thank you, Call of Duty. We love you so much. Bomb goes down on the the B site, and that is going to be a 2-player advantage, make it a 3-player advantage now for Houston Spartans, and that's going to be around stopping the bleeding, getting within 1.
There's so much here for a lot of these rounds, and it's working wonders for them. But for now, for a little bit of a change up here, the members of Houston Spartans finally answering back in kind. This is what you want to see from this team. This map has to be your lifeline. You do not want to go on to protocol in a position like this. The members of Slane 2 rounds away from taking this victory for themselves. Houston Spartans, if they're able to stabilize here and finally put a damper on the plans of Slane, it could just work. And think about it at the end of the day too, as Slane is just, they're not really communicating with one another as much. All the plays that they are making are purely through that instinctive play, but JC is, again, that raid boss. JC, he's getting a 3K, possibly another ace to his name. Never mind. This guy is the final boss of the server, and they're looking for more zombie. Knives out JC to stop him from getting the ace. These young guns, they are ruthless to one another as well as their opposition. Last player already spotted. Resurrect, none the wiser here. Just trying to go in for the peak over the Lambo, but there's not really much that you can do. Possibly get a kill. Yes, he does. But down over this 2v1, they do have the plant, and it's going to be Resurrect who needs to make the play. He had the choice.
I'm down. 2v1 situation. Resurrect. I'll find something just pooped up in the Lambo right now. Finally makes a play on out. I mean, less than 20 seconds. There's not really much you could do with the little time left. Just whips out the pistol. More or less accepts defeat. Now we have a 5-3 lead from Slane. looking like they could be taking a 2-0 lead in this series. And, with how competitive that hard point was, Houston Spartans, they're struggling a little bit here in the series.
And this is not something that you want to see coming out from them either. Houston, what exactly is going on in the comm side? I really want to know, because the team just doesn't really seem to be on the same page. Their players are all over the place in more situations than one. And for Slane, yeah, they're not really looking like a team that doesn't have full-on active comms. They're playing based upon one another so well. And then there's just JC being that X factor for the team. He's just doing whatever the hell he wants when it comes down to a lot of these fights. Him being able to find multiple multi-frags here on S&D, mind you, in Hacienda, it's very difficult to do.
Yeah, you're not wrong about that. Let's see if they're able to make a difference here. RCXD isn't really going to come through for you. Liz, I think that's a self-nade. I'm not really sure what happened there. Either way, we're at a 3v3, bomb in hand. Or using Spartans, and they're starting to feel the pressure of this search and destroy, knowing they could go down 2-0. It's a 3v3 situation. Nobody really wants to make a mistake, but the longer you wait around, the better it's going to be for the defense. You have to get that bomb down eventually. And Slane, they're staying poised in the positionings that they have. A couple of shots go towards Kliz. Not going to take him down whatsoever. Try to gain a little entry. Not going to find it. Zombie Slayer picks up a kill on Resurrect. Not Miso, the last player alive now. Down in a 1v3, and Slane will go up 2-0 with a clean. All right, I told you it wasn't going to be long, and it wasn't very long at all. And we're in map number 3 already. Not Miso picking up an early 2. Excuse me, I believe that may have been Massacre. Getting that early 2, and now early A pressure as well. 1 tick already gone. Already looking good. Houston Spartans trying to work towards that top blue building as well, top zip. Did get snuffed out, and you will get snuffed out over towards A, but your opening effort was fantastic. You did get 2 ticks done early, and lives aren't in a bad spot either.
Well, Ghost is going to be able to take down 2, though, and this is perfect. The members of Houston Spartans, they're answering back pretty well here. JC getting shut down instantly for the trades are working out in the favor of Houston Spartans. They are up 1 life here, but even then, they have to be careful. Positions are better and a little bit more preferable from the members of Slane as they need to try and work their way in. Points taken away, and now back in full control. The members of Slane, they're able to take over the point. They're able to defend it down through, but for how long is the real question, because Lix comes in strong here with his buddies holding down the line. The shots need to keep on connecting, and they're doing well here. As Houston Spartans, they're losing lives pretty quickly, but Resurrect with a double, never mind. Resurrect answers back in kind, but Vogue, being the game changer that he is, every single time comes alive, goes in for the triple, and he is just keeping the ball rolling in their own court. JC with a fast swing out, slides across, going in for the multi-frags here, and they are just doing God's work out here. As Slane, they have the lead on lives, and they have full control over onto every side.
And that nade was not so great for Miso, unfortunately. He's going to fall, but you do still maintain pressure on A. And these 2 teams are absolutely duking it out. And I think Houston Spartan feels a lot more comfortable in these respawn modes. Weren't able to drag it across the finish line in the map number 1, but looking good early in the control so far. A site gone. We'll see you in the next one. You're down about 2 lives. You got a minute 13 on the clock. JC locking down that bottom blue locker area. Now hopping down spiral stairs. Maybe check out the Bat Cave, see what Batman's doing tonight. Yeah, he's out fighting villains. There ain't nobody there. And there ain't nobody near that B site for Houston Spartans either. And those lives, they're starting to be an issue.
Yeah, Houston Spartans, they're probably going to be done for here if they're not careful. Zombie Slayer just slides across. Good aim coming out from him to go in for those kills. Last 3 players remaining as the members of Slane. They are just in full control, but they're still losing out on a couple of lives here. They need to be careful. Lacoste still causing issues as per usual. If you allow him to go in for the shot, Zombie Slayer going in for the final blow. 1 more player remaining. And it's all up to not Miso to maybe pull off a miracle and a half. To kill this many players is going to be a problem. And with time ticking away, there's no way they're going to be able to hold for long. Done and dusted. Last player already spotted through. The shots come in. And it is going to be Slain to take the victory for round number 1, ladies and gentlemen. Not that big of a surprise. Again, the members of Houston Spartan, they just don't really like this map. Like, it's understandable too, right? This is a blast for the past for me because this just goes all the way back. This map just has too many flaws and too many problems to be a control map. I don't know why they even chose this map to be a control map, because there's too many different positions that you have to worry about. And every single point that you do stand on, there's like a heaven staring at you from above. Like, where do you go? Do you look at the entry points onto these control points, or do you look up into the sky? You don't know where to go.
Yeah, you got to look everywhere, and that's why something we talked about plenty throughout this series is communication is so vital inside of protocol, and that's going to be a Coasty ripping off an early first blood, and it is very defensive heavy on protocol. You've seen a little bit more success offensively since they moved the B site up towards the P2 area. You're able to make that rotation a little bit easier. If you get that 4 dead, you can really get something cooking over at B, but it's certainly defensively favored still, and it's not much to be said. Will something change here, though? Slain down on lives offensively. That's another similar trend you'll continue to see. Blizz & Co trying to work something on the B side of the map, not able to get the kills to get that map pressure. But you draw enough presence over towards that side, maybe it opens up towards A, but you need to get some kills.
They need to get themselves onto the point as well soon enough, because you can tell that the members of Slain, they're giving away a tiny little bit too much space here. With time ticking away, they need to get themselves back in, running down the clock to the very last C here. Already the pressure being established quite well as the members of Houston Spartans, they need to try and reclaim this, but Volg is just such a difficult barrier for them to cross. The shots just keep on connecting, coming out from this one man. Blizz in towards the backhand corner, playing the head glitch out beautifully. He's playing for time, and he's making sure that the members of Slain, they're in utter and full control.
A site just about done. Volg onto a 5 spree. He does get taken down finally, and you do stop the tick. For the moment, if you are Houston Spartans, and you'll stop it yet again, if you can clear the progress on that tick, you'll feel great, because there's less than 20 seconds on the clock, and if you're Slain, you're going to need to make it to this hill in a quick hurry. Resurrect finding one player up top white, really not able to make a push towards the hill just yet. Teammates are able to get towards B just to stop the clock with less than 10 seconds. One tick looking to come through over towards B, but bad news, you only have one player there. Just trying to make a one-man stand. 2 players will chow on the defense, and that's going to stop it. But meanwhile, progress continues to flow over towards A, and that is a good play out of Slain just to get the attention off of that A site and gain that extra minute. But the problem now, Aggressive, you got 5 lives.
Yeah, this is just like pretty bad coming in from the members of Houston Spartans. They just can't really do much. And I like the fact that Slain just played in for the time, right? They knew that, hey, it's 9 seconds left on the clock. This is going to cause pressure for the members of Houston Spartans, and they're just instantly going to try to run back over to that B side to try and clear out that last player, because you don't want to give this many ticks away. Slain isolating out information, forcing them onto every single uncomfortable spot possible to get this round under the bag. And it's just, how do you put it? This is just such a tough game for the members of Houston Spartans, because I already told you that this would not be their map. This was very much expected that a play like this was going to happen to them.
Yeah, it's been rough pickings. They've definitely had moments, right, where I felt like Houston Spartans were really going to get something cooking, but it hasn't been sustained success like they had in that map number 1. And I think we're going to look back at that one, and so will the Houston Spartans, as a moment that they could have had a totally different outlook on the rest of this series, not fighting from a deficit, but from a point of control and confidence. And now you're fighting all the way back, not only 2-0 in the series, but in the control as well, just trying to scratch and claw for hope.
You can tell that the members of Slain, they're kind of at a very significant advantage on this particular map too, being a little bit more defense favored. You got to go in for the clears here. JC not expecting the second. This could be a problem, but Zombie Slayer already up and across the corner, trying to equalize things out for his team a little bit further. JC coming in strong once again. Zombie going for the last clear. Massacre already spotted, and it's going to be Zombie Slayer who just keeps on sliding and getting the kills that they need for their team. 1 minute left on the clock now. The lives not really as massive matter just yet. But as long as the members of Houston Spartan are able to mount a good stronghold and a comeback going into this point for the reclaim, they have a lot more to play for.
Absolutely looking pretty defensively strong in the moment is Slain. Houston, you could say this for yourself. You're not in a horrible spot lives-wise, but the problem is when one of these sites gets finished off, you're always in a horrible spot in lives, it feels like, if you're Houston Spartans. And Clay's finding an extra moment just to shoot a body, because why not? B presence already there. Massacre finding that opening kill. Shots towards mid-gun through. Not going to fall just yet. Does know that there's another player up top. Zombie Slayer will fall. But I believe he found a kill with the nade as well. So nice little spree there. Does end for Massacre. But you do get some progress at that B site. Get the one tick. Allow A to open up.
Oh, this might be bad for the members of Slain. They need to go in for a lot of big kills here if they really want to turn this one around, but there's too many positions for Zombies there to go in for the clear here. Choose one side and play for it, because with the clock ticking away, they have too many different positions that they need to hold, but good communication lines being set up by the members of Slain here. They're able to stop both ticks from coming on in. This has just gone from back to worse as the members of Houston Spartans. Wait a moment, this could be really bad for them. Time ticking away, 17 seconds left. They need to choose a side and need to get their players and bodies on, but never mind. Bold, instantly going in for the shutdown. One player already spotted around the corner, knife down. It's going to be Gliz who went in for the play. 7 seconds left. The members of Houston, they need to try and go in for something big here, but it's just not going to happen. One more, and it's all but over. Houston Spartans, they take a bow as the members of